It is Wednesday, April 27. I am your host, The Cowboy. This is Elliott Wave Cafe. Welcome to another edition of the chart of the day. Guys, we had some interesting earnings today after the close. Let's get going. All right, so I'm going to start here with Facebook, and it's been the highest climb today after the earnings. They've reported, decent earnings per share. I think their revenue was a little bit lower, but the market was so beat up in this thing that it just squeezed higher, almost 16%, I think, at the moment in the after hours. And it's been one hell of a ride. Now, we've talked about Facebook, I think last time at the end of March, almost a month ago, when we were looking at this thing as being an ABC correction, possible, with the likelihood of this thing maybe continuing lower. But obviously, this count was wrong. Here we were in a rise, and then with the latest kind of market sell-off for the past week or so, Facebook pushed to new lows, and it came here towards 167. Let me do extended data, see if it comes up. So here is the rise today at about 201, maybe even 210 at the moment. So, interesting a pushback out of here. I just posted something on Twitter earlier today about this count in Facebook. I was saying that it's not a bad idea here to start looking to the long side, sell puts, buy calls, buy stock, whatever, because it does seem like this wave 5, it's towards completion. Now, you're always taking a risk when you're coming over into earnings. So, one of the comments that I made was that, I'm going to start to bid at about 165. So we haven't actually gotten this price. And here I'm long the stock. And I bought a little bit, I think, a couple of days ago, into these levels. But, I would have liked to kind of get my hands on something more towards 165, which would have about 161 multiple of this 5v1 in here. But the market stopped in this neighborhood, which is, good enough. And, we're getting this, let me show the data here. We're getting this kind of huge rally higher. Now, if this is the beginning of a larger trend and a larger correction up, remains to be seen. Clearly, this ABC fell apart. It moved from a 3-way structure into a 5-way structure. What you're seeing in here, it's a 1, 2, 3. Let's check how far wave 3 traveled. So 261.8. That was, one of the clues there, right? That it's going to be kind of hard for this to be a C wave. And, we pull back. I mean, look at this percentage retracement into a 4th wave. Beautiful percentage retracement into 38%. And then you also have the internals in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is a textbook, as gorgeous as it gets, Elliott wave pattern in here. Let me kind of squeeze this out of the way so you can see the pricing. And what I'm watching for fib multiples, for retracements, for extensions, things like that. This wave 2 pulled back into the 618. So everything about this decline is textbook. It looks pretty good. I think, the thing that's going to happen next in here, we're probably going to get some kind of a correction in here. Now, if this is a 5-wave decline, this is kind of what it's likely to happen next. And I'm going to go on the weekly time frames, and I'm going to squeeze this up just a little bit in here. And let me get rid of these things in here. So I'm just going to hit this hotkeys to get them out of the way. Come on. Okay, we're going to go an Alt 4 as well, and then we'll go some Alt 3. Just get rid of these Alt 2, and then that was an Alt 4. Let me just do this right through here. 5 versus 1 plus 3, just so I can kind of clean up the chart a little bit. Sorry for doing this live. I'll just kind of show you how this works live here on a motive wave. So anyway, what I want to do is I want to go an impulse from these lows into the larger picture. So that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1, down in 2. We're not going to worry about that leg before. We're going to go in a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's the larger count in Facebook in here. And we're going to change this from a cycle. We're going to go down. Let's go down to a primary count. So that would make it maybe a wave 1 cycle top, and then we'll see what's going to happen here. But I think it's likely that this is just wave A of a decline if it's in 5 waves. So I think Facebook will get into a rally, maybe into a sharp rally, into a B wave, and then I think what's going to happen is it's going to get, you know, hurt again and get a push lower in this ABC. So you know, you're probably going to come back here maybe towards the bottom of this 4th wave. Maybe we're going to rally for the rest of the year in here, and then do another decline lower maybe next year. So that's what's kind of telling me. If it's a 5-wave decline, it's the beginning of something, right? It's not the end of something. And the only way you could say is the end of something if this is wave C of a flat and it doesn't look as such. You can't really go you know, in a 3-3-5. It's very ugly, you know. So I just can't find the way to count this as part of a corrective leg at the moment. So I have to assume this is a wave A of a zigzag, which means we're going to get a B and maybe a C. Now the C wave doesn't have to be that deep. It could be just briefly coming below this. You can have a failed C wave depending on how far this B wave will travel next, if this is a low in Facebook at the moment. But this is kind of what I'm watching. So if you're able to kind of hold on to this thing and you know, watch it, I mean, this is a you know, pretty good, let's say, reversal out of here. We'll see if it's going to get rejected or not into the next few days. But you know, this now could be possibly traded from the long side, where you'd be looking to maybe buy pullbacks into this. You don't want them very, very deep. You want them to stay anywhere in 50 to 618, depending on kind of how high this goes, and then see if you can, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This would be at least a target back to 4th wave in a wave A, right? And then this would be wave A of B. Then you're going to get a correction here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you're going to get an A, B, C, and then you're going to get another 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the B wave back in here. Okay, that's my B. Have fun with that. So something like that, right? A, B, I'm sorry, what am I doing this? So this is A, B, C out of B. So this is actually, I'm sorry, this is actually a C wave. So because you're looking at this, right? A, B, and then down in C. So that's my mistake. So that's A, B, C, and you know, that should have been a C, and this should have been a B. So hopefully I did not confuse you, but that's kind of what I'm watching in here. Interesting, nice reaction after a 5-wave textbook move. So let's see how this gets unfolded. I'm going to move on to the next one. The next one in here, it is PayPal, which is something that we've watched also in the chart of the day. And you know, we were looking at this thing to kind of travel lower one more time in a 5th wave, and this is kind of what happened. You're going to 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this extended 5th wave with a wave 3, a push higher in this 4th. It wasn't a triangle, it was just a simple a push higher, maybe a flat in there in an ABC, and then a push lower in this 5th wave. And I kind of have it in here as well. So you know, something like that, if you ask me. That looks a little bit impulsive out of there, but there is a little bit of a mess, so I'm not sure. But anyway, it is a 4th wave. You know, maybe if you want to squeeze it for a flat, you can push that back in there to an ABC for a flat. And you know, it's still kind of what it looks to be, you know, more of a terminal move in here. So let me just adjust this, and then kind of a similar story. We're looking for this to kind of give us an ABC up, just like in Facebook. So I'm kind of doing this live. Let me see, extended data in here. Okay, let's see if we can. I'm going to clean this up a little bit, guys. Sorry if I'm not prepared. I'm just kind of doing this live in here, a little bit short on time. So let's see one more time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then let's see. We can do that as a 4 in there, because I can see a better structure here. So let's see what's a fib pullback on there in an A4 versus 3, 23%. So that's pretty good. And then this 5th wave, let's just do some calculations there. Let's go Alt 5. So that's pretty good, because when you have an extended 3rd wave like that, usually you get 38% on 5v1 plus 3. The next level is 618. but that's kind of the first target. And let's do also, I'm going to pin this up here so it doesn't move like that. And then we're also going to do a ratio analysis of 5v1. And let's see where that was. So wow, that was what's going on in here. I think it was much, much higher because of, you know, such an extended nature of that larger third wave. I hope I'm doing it on the right count. Yes. So not much to do there on the 5v1. It's more of a 5v1 plus 3. And let's do also a let's do also a 5v4. See kind of how that looks, because that's also an important one as well. And you can look at that. Is it exactly at 5v1 plus 3 at 168? So what this measures basically is a reverse fib of this fourth wave with this wave 5. So pretty good lows in here, I would say. Let's see. I mean, if PayPal it is to bounce, I think it should do it from here. Maybe kind of linger around a little bit more. But you know, you can be looking for something like this, maybe an A, B, and then, you know, up in C, something like that. I'm just trying to avoid all those. Maybe back here to at least 120 for the beginning, if not a little bit higher. So what I usually do is you can go and do a fib retracement of this whole decline up into these lows, right? And look to, you know, target at least a 38% pullback for this ABC, if it's going to be a B wave or if it's going to be a wave 2. But if it's a wave 2, I doubt it. I mean, where is this thing going to go, right? It's already so low that it's, you know, kind of hard to think that this thing could be a second wave and then you're going to get a 3, a 4, and a 5, right? It's very, very unlikely. So something to watch. Definitely a big impulsive move, which means that, you know, we're probably going to get a B wave rally and then maybe another C wave decline. You know, so we'll see, one step at a time. We'll see what happens here in PayPal. But another thing I wanted to kind of draw your attention to is look how nicely it came up into this fourth wave support. And you know, usually when you get sell-offs like that, you know, that's kind of, they usually come first to the wave 4 of the larger degree of trend in there. So you look at that fourth wave, that's your support. You got some big supports in here as well. So I think PayPal will relax here for a while and start to stage a little bit of a rally. So that's on PayPal. The other one that's a little bit nasty today, it is TELADOC. I've done also a video on this one, and we were looking for this thing to travel lower. I think at the time we were looking for a fourth wave, and you know, we wanted to see if we're going to get a fifth wave sell-off. Now, TELADOC, as I'm typing, it's trading at about $30, so a little bit lower than kind of what I've had it back in there, back to, or maybe 35. But no matter what, I mean, the sequence, was still kind of looked incomplete in a 1, 2 leading diagonal, in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 up in 4 to the previous 4 up in 5. And guess where it's coming? It's coming to the fourth wave from the previous degree of trend, from the larger degree of trend right there. It's the fourth wave. Okay, so pay attention to that when you're looking for retracements. Those are good levels to kind of think when a market starts to sell off, as to have them as targets or as areas of a bounce. Now we'll see if this thing, it's gonna so it's right, actually drop below that, right? Because we are in the after hours. Maybe that's what I'm tricked up here. Let me see. Let me go to a 1 day. I want to squeeze this up and show me extended data. For some reason, it's not giving it to me, but here is where we are. So you've done a little bit of a flush in TELADOC, and it screws up my chart a little bit, but you come to about 34. So you've kind of flushed lower in this fifth wave, and it is, you know, it's maybe just an over exaggeration. We'll see kind of how we close and maybe how we open tomorrow here, but I think this is a terminal move in here in TELADOC and not the beginning of a move, right? Because the count here kind of shows us that it's towards the end of its structure, and this was kind of the final kind of maybe capitulation in the stock. So that's kind of what I'm watching. So it's kind of back in here right below, before that. So below this line here, this was 42. So anyway, what I'm looking for next here would be you know, some kind of an ABC setback. So just kind of, similar story like I've been showing you into some of the other stocks that I've talked about before. But this is TELADOC, and then let me see kind of how this looks on a longer time frame. I know there's a big messy lots of counts in here, but 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and now you're doing this decline. This could be a wave A, up in B, and maybe another C lower. We'll see how that ends up being, but clean impulsive move to the downside. And with this, guys, I think I'm just going to leave you, but let me see here. Let me take a look. So this is PayPal. This is my live Thinkorswim platform. PayPal stabilizing at the moment. Let's take a quick look at Facebook. Wow, Facebook 207. Look at this rally. And then TELADOC in the after hours. It is 36.39, so low 33.84. It's probably going to stabilize and start to kind of rise after this big flush lower. I'm not an owner of TELADOC, but I might pick it up for a trade. I mean, it starts to look definitely interesting, at least in terms of that count. I just need this market to calm down a little bit here and show me some signs of survival before you can initiate a position, maybe ride this thing back up towards 50 or so. The other thing I wanted to say, if I still have your attention here, is that I have started writing for Substack, and I've just done a little piece there for introduction. Go ahead and check it out. There's a link below this video. I'm also going to link it here on the screen. Take a look, see what you think. I'm not really good at writing. I'm trying to, get better and maybe put some interesting pieces out there. Maybe every week, maybe twice a week. We'll see kind of how we go about markets in general, and with charts and explanations and life experience and trading and things like that. I think I got some things to say about it, but check that out and share it around if you will. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to like this, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.